to license it.
Insightful story,
Do you deal with credit?
Not personally, but so during lockdown, the first lockdown, I was teaching year 9 and year 10s and financial education, financial independence, because again, as we talked about, it's something that's really, really important. And I think so. I talked about credit. I talked about investing. I talked about just knowing how to like pay bills and things like that. And what I found was really, really interesting is that parents were listening in and they didn't even know a lot of the things that I was talking about. So it shows how important it is for us to like learn from like a younger age, because how many of us got car fines from when we were younger, and then before you know it, it goes through to court, and sometimes
CCJs and all
Blood
that.
clot,
CCJ.
EE. Yeah.
Your life is a shambles.
Yo.
7 banks of the government. EE.
EE ruined my life.
Just sign up to one of the workshops, my guy.
Now, do you know what
I learned this that's going on.
But that's what I'm saying.
That's
That's what I'm saying. We all learn from bad experiences. And
But that's where it is, because I never knew that you couldn't have no credit.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know that.
No
I didn't know
credit
that for a while
is
as well.
bad
No
as
credit is
bad
bad,
credit.
Yeah, because like when I was younger, I think I went, like 18 or 19, you go for something. And the man was like, you have
no credit
no
history.
credit.
When I went to the car, the man was like, you got no credit, so I took out a credit card.
So I think that's one of the biggest issues and why we need education, because that yes, credit card is the best way and easiest way for you to build credit, but if you don't know how to use it, then you put yourself
in
into
trouble.
The credit builder, you have to get the credit builder ones.
Yeah.
Use less than a certain 50%
Exactly.
of the credit and all they just rub it.
and not, because I think what a lot of people did, like when we were all younger, we got credit cards, we just paying the minimum, and then before you know it, like you got APR of what 39%, you're paying back a madness, thinking, oh yeah, it's free money or whatever, but it's knowing how to smartly use that credit card. So like when I think my first credit card was like one of them, was like a graduate credit card when I whatever.
The uni ones.
Yeah, the uni ones. Yeah, the graduate.
But Nat West.
Yeah, I got that one. Yeah.
Every chapter of your life has a shambles in it.
Bro. Hey, uni ruined my life.
This is a madness.
So if you use it properly, it works. And then just use it for something like your travel card, and always make sure when you've bought it that you just pay out from your normal bank account rather than treating it like this is free money. And I think that's where a lot of people get into issue. And that's actually it is the quickest way to build credit. However, things like being on the electoral roll, a lot of people don't know that being on the electoral roll helps with your credit card. And also, I think a big thing that affected a lot of people was that obviously when we went to uni, we had address registered at uni, address registered at home, and that messes up your credit as well if you've got multiple addresses linked to your account. So ensuring that you have everything. So if you move out, like when I moved out of my dad's house and I went to live by myself, it was sort of like a lot of things about my dad, but I had some of my own flats. So when I was looking through my credit file, I looked at I think Equifax is a really good one, and it kind of said all the things that were making my credit not excellent. You know what I mean? So electoral roll, obviously CCJs,
Defaults are terrible.
obviously defaults, like not paying on time, and also sometimes some companies keep your credit file. Keep things on your credit file that are not supposed to. So always
Call them to take it off.
Yeah, make
Blood
sure
clot.
you call.
EE, bruv.
This guy, bro.
I'll tell you for those to say that. We need to have a whole episode just for
Yeah, I
you
know.
and your issues.
The young age of ignorance. That's what it was.
Yeah, we've all
But
been
that's the
there.
thing.
And them student overdrafts as well, innit?
Student overdraft, like most of us had a student overdraft, and you go into it.
Yeah, I did as well.
And that's it. So I think it's, as I said, it's about education, and I feel like we were given a lot of things when we were quite young and we didn't actually know what we're doing with it.
So if you're living with someone and they got bad credit, you're under the same address, can that also affect your credit as well?
So some properties will have bad credit. So like when I moved into my first flat, I didn't know, but then I realised afterwards that it had bad credit because a lot of different people lived there before, and they weren't paying for things and stuff like that. So there's a lot of things that contribute to it. That's not even your fault. So that's why you have to be extra on top of things to ensure that you are kind of building up your own credit file.
But how do you rectify that?
So with that, you can't. So with that, it will be rectified once your own credit builds, and obviously you've been on that address for a while. So normally, what they would do, say if you just moved into that place, they will ask for your last 3 years. So obviously, if your parents' house has better credit, then that kind of doesn't impact you as much, but it will still make your. It still impacts your credit, but probably not as big, not as much, because you've got a previous address that had good credit. So it's all of these things added together that contributes to your credit score. So I think it's just making sure that you're being vigilant about what you're doing, and not like, obviously a lot of us kind of mess up our credit whilst we're young, but it doesn't mean that we can't repair it. But it's making sure you do the right things. Obviously, a lot of people don't like being electoral because it's, you know, some people don't vote, or people don't want to go jury service or whatever it is, but it helps. Like, it really does help. And I think now we're all at an age where we're trying to, like, people are trying to get mortgages, and when you have bad credit, it's very hard to get a mortgage. But there are organisations, I don't know them off head, that do cater to people that have bad credit when it comes to doing mortgages. It's just that they might not have as favourable interest rates and things like that. But things are getting better. I think it was a lot worse before, when there was a lot less options and ways that you
How do you repair your credit score?
So repairing your credit score, so I would say the main thing you need to do is get a good credit checking service. So as I said, like Equifax, Experian.
Is Clear Score good?
Pardon?
Clear Score?
Yeah, Clear Score. Clear Score as well, and look through and get a detailed credit report, and it will tell you exactly what things are causing your credit to not be good. So it's literally going through that list and repairing all of that. So if you've got a CCJ, that's one of those things that drops off after, I think, 6 years, So that's one of those things you just kind of got to wait for it to drop off.
What about a default? If you've got a default on your account, does that only go away when you've paid it off, or can it just kind of disappear by itself?
It does. You have to pay it off, but it eventually will disappear. I can't remember exactly.
Even if you don't pay it off?
I believe you have to pay it off.
Yeah, you have to, innit?
Yeah.
So what about people that get go and blacklist themselves? They get blacklisted.
What, bankruptcy?
Bankruptcy, sorry, yeah.
To be honest, I haven't dealt with that personally. I don't know 100% how that works, but I think from what I know is that you kind of just start fresh again, kind of thing. Like, you
just can't obtain credit.
But then you still will kind of be in the same situation because you won't have any
credit history.
Yeah.
All right, what if I changed my name legally?
That's a good question. If you change it's kind of like when people get married. So sometimes they can still be, they're still able to link. They will say, what was your previous, do you have any previous names before? Are you saying it in a way for you to get rid of your previous?
Yeah, because I've known people who have changed their names and all of a sudden they've got good credit.
That one I'm not sure about then. I don't know.
Change your name by depot, isn't it?
Yeah. Like, they've changed their names and now...
They probably changed their name and then
do you mean
built
they've got
up
good
another
credit, or they're building up
They got bad credit.
No, like, they had terrible credit before
and they've changed their names.
And changed their name, and now they've got a car on finance, and they've got this, like, they've got stuff now that they couldn't get obtained before.
That's interesting.
But I thought everything would have linked up.
That's what I mean. I know that works the same for, like, when you're married and you change your name and things like that. But I'm not sure how. Yeah. That's
if I got married and took, I took my partner's surname, you trying to tell me that's the whole new life?
No, you're still
linked to your old name.
But especially if you live in the same yard.
Yeah, you're
the same Don.
They'll still see that Christopher and then black. You get me?
You have to change your name, go by your middle name and your new surname, yeah, and then move yard. And then you might be a new Don.
I'm trying to escape that EE word at HMRC.
That 7 bags is illegal.
EE we sorted. I had to get them to take a couple. But you know, when I was young, I used to take out like bare contracts, and like over the years I was just going because like my credit score was just getting hit. So I was thinking, what the hell? So I was going for my credit score. I'm seeing like, yo, EE £100. I'm thinking this is like 5 years ago. EE £35. So one day I just called them. And then I paid it off, but I still saw it was on my credit report. And I was like, I was told once it's paid, they have to take it off. So I called them, got through to like the credits department, they took it off. Like even like certain overdrafts, I've paid for it. And I was like, why is it still on my credit score? Take it off. Even like that any contracts that I had that I just paid for, and the report was still on. Once I paid it off, even if I paid it off 3 years later, you got to take it off.
Yeah, you got to be proactive. Unfortunately, sometimes we trust so much in the system and we think, oh, things are going to get. But you got to be proactive, because sometimes, because you think about it, people are people. So the people that are working in these organisations, someone might miss something, and like even HMRC, like they sometimes will overtax you, and you know, if you're lucky enough, you get a refund. If you're not lucky enough, you get the opposite.
So
see that $7,000? I've prayed on it. It's going back to sender.
So if you live in a yard and there's been like loads of bad credit on that yard, that can affect you.
It can affect you, but as I said, it's all relative to whatever else is affecting your credit.
Because my yard, when I moved in, it's bare letters, you know, like bare different names are coming in.
Yeah.
And you know, sometimes curiosity, you bust them. One man owes like 32 bags to some company, like some motor company, like he owes them money, and there's the next letter that comes to say they started a business and they didn't do their tax returns. So now they're hunting them for that, but they don't live there no more. So it's like 3 or 4 different names that come. Now just leave them.
And when you can, you should. When you get those letters, contact the company and say these people don't live here anymore.
Yeah, because when I first moved into my property, I had a couple that bailiffs will come, and I had to show them my tenancy agreement to prove that
it's not you.
It's not you, so they could stop.
Stop coming there.
Sending the letters here and all them type of stuff.
Yeah, because there was a lot of debt on my property. Even, you know, like your electricity meter and all of that.
Yeah.
Like my one, it owed like £60.
Yeah.
For only God knows how long. And it took time for them to remove that. Because every time I put money on, it was taking my money.
But normally what they do, they're supposed to contact the landlord or the housing association or wherever it is to find out, to get a history of, we're looking for this person, do they still live there? Yeah. And then you can say
it's down to the landlord's negligence as well.
Yeah, the landlord's supposed to declare that, it's...
Wow.
So
this is insightful, because you don't really get taught about credit. Do you know what I mean?
You don't get taught about everything beneficial.
I only knew about credit when I had to apply for a car. That was the first time I knew about credit.
That's when I found out at 18, you can have such a thing as no credit. And I was like, but how?
How? I don't have that.
Like, there's like, you haven't built anything. So I had to get the £200 credit builder credit card. And like, literally, as you said, travel, pay it back. I'll do like, put petrol in my car, pay it back. With the money that I already had for it and do stuff like that.
Direct debit, so when it was paid, it would automatically just
take the money.
Yeah.
So, all right, cool. So what if now all my bills are to my yard, but lots of my letters still go to like my mum's house? Do I need to transfer everything to the one place?
So when you say, is it like bank statements?
So all my bank statements and stuff still go to my mum's. And like when you go on ClearScore and all of that, it's my mum's address.
Is it only your mum's address?
It's only my mum's address.
Okay, so if it's one address, then it's better. So like if it's one, it's like if everything's at your mum's address, like but are you on the electoral roll and is that at your mum's or? I'm
on the electoral roll, but I don't know where for. I think maybe at my mum's.
Okay, so if everything's consistent, so it's
but
more
all my bills obviously are for my yard. But paying your bills helps increase your credit.
Yeah, exactly. So it depends on. So it really depends on how you've built up your history. So it may be that your credit score could be good, but it could be excellent if everything was all at one address. Because there was a point where my credit score was good, but the only reason why it wasn't excellent is because I had a lot of stuff at my dad's house and I didn't want to like transfer everything yet until. But
could it reverse it? Could it be good because it's at my mum's and then I move it and it drops?
No, I don't know.
But also, you can get rejected credit. Your credit could be excellent, but you can also get rejected credit for having too much credit, right?
Yeah, I know.
Oh, really? Because you're not using any credit. You're just piling it up.
There's a certain limit, right?
Yeah,
so that
I think that's annoying. I'm not a credit expert. I don't 100% know how it works, but it's a bit annoying because it's like if you think about it, these people want to make money. So they really want to get the people that could give them money and have to pay the interest. But if your credit is so good that you're always paying everything on time and things like that, then they're just thinking, that's the only reason why we're not giving it to you because...
And if you do too many like hard searches, it messes you up as well.
Exactly.
Yeah, you've got these soft ones, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Because you know all these pre-approved cards where they're like, check
your thing.
But I found out, you know, when you do compare the market, it flags up on your thing as well.
Credit report.
Yeah.
But soft ones, there's a soft ones, aren't there?
But it still flags up that you've gone to check.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but why? I've just done a search to see
Because your car, your now they regulate by how good your
because
credit is.
they're all linked together now, isn't it? They're all
Yeah,
like
everything
linked
is-
with each
But
other.
they don't
so-
tell you this, so
yeah.
they're searching.
We're regulated by something in Gibraltar.
No,
Writing
'cause
service.
I know that the FCA, they're all regulated the financial conduct authority, but
Ban car insurance, man.
one who?
The car insurance.
After you said curries, I was about to say, what happened with curries?
Man, oh, curries.
Curry, to have beef with curry? No, we squashed that still.
You got beef for August?
I love August, man. But I used to work there, man. They love me, man.
Nah, I've only got beef in one place, but it's my fault still. I've got one default, and I'm looking at it every day like,
I ain't got no beef. I had beef with Free back in the day.
nah, I got beef with
Free
one,
network.
with NatWest.
Ah.
NatWest, because I owe them peas.
A lot of my beef is from uni, bruv. I got a bit excited.
Mine's
man.
mine's when I was like college days,
Yeah.
I went jail.
getting contracts.
I
and getting
went jail and I
excited.
wrote them a letter to say, look, I can't pay you, man. I wrote, on the prison
Yeah.
letter.
What I learned was, you see, when you went jail,
Yeah,
the government was supposed to write off whatever existing.
debts I had.
supposed to
Yeah. So you can actually.
I don't know about that still,
No, you can.
because I've started paying it, so I've acknowledged that this is my
Like,
beef.
yeah.
If you don't start paying it, you can fight it. But I've acknowledged it as my war.
I do. Correct, but I think you still can fight it. The government was supposed to write because you was incarcerated. How?
No,
was you
because
supposed
the
to pay
thing
it at
is,
that time?
before I went in jail, you go to the bank and I said to them, look, guys, I don't know what's gonna happen, but if you don't hear from me, it's a madness.
Yeah.
Cool. So said, so done. When I've gone, I wrote them on the headed like one
Prison. Yeah.
Listen, guys, I'm not about it. It was like, all right, cool, no problem. We're gonna default it. We can't freeze it. We're gonna have to default it. And we'll wait for you to come out.
That's what they said.
Basically,
that year you was that time period you was away. Either the government writes it off, or they pay for that time you're away, innit?
Well, they did not inform me of this. So I need
Just
to
meant
go.
to write it off. Usually they just write it off,
Yeah.
innit?
I know shit, you know.
They need to come take the 7 bags away. From they need to come take that. If they write that off, but does that mean that if they write off your debt, does that default have to be removed? Because I didn't pay it technically. They just kind of
Allowed you.
Yeah, I think it might be one of those ones that after a while it gets removed.
So who do I need to contact? Premps.
You seem-
I'm gonna check for you tomorrow.
Credit expert.
No, I'm not gonna lie. You know, my mum put me on game when it came to credit. Do you get me? Because she's like the credit guru. My mum knows how to maneuver certain things in it, and that credit's excellent. So it was her that started putting me onto certain things. Like she would tell me, no, don't go for that. Wait 6 months. Me, I'm impatient. Wait 6 months. 6 months comes. Oh shit, I got it. Oh, I got a wicked interest rate for this. You know what I mean? So, like, I just didn't realize how important credit was to have, bro.
When did you lot actually realize what credit was? Like what age?
I went to get a car.
About 20,
I realised
2021.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's when I had no credit
Yeah.
history, so I couldn't do stuff.
Yeah,
I wanted
exactly.
a car. I
And then
wanted
after
this.
uni, when the bank started writing to my house.
Now 2021, I think that was when because you want stuff now.
Yeah,
But
you want
But even
stuff.
then, you want stuff, so you want to build your credit, but you still don't know about it. Cause you're just thinking, I just need to build it.
At
Yeah,
that
exactly.
time, companies started doing stuff on credit. Like, oh, you don't have to pay for it now. You can do that by a month, 6
Yeah.
months later.
Yeah.
But that's how I built my credit. I got the dead credit card, and I got a Littlewoods catalog.
Yeah.
And I used to buy clothes and pay
Pay
them
it
right
off
off. 'Cause I was
later,
gonna
yeah.
spend that money anyway.
Yeah.
So then I'll go back and forth, and then after a while, everything I applied for, my credit was just like,
Yeah.
yep,
But
take
you
it,
see these,
take
you
it.
see this. Oh, buy it now. Pay 6 months later. Pay a year later. They are a disease.
Nah, I don't do that,
If
bro.
you get yourself
I don't
caught
do
in
that.
that, yeah.
Yeah, but that's only if you.
If you ain't got the money, don't buy it. fam.
You
That's simple as that.
you start spending imaginary money.
Yeah, that's it.
So
If you ain't got
you
it,
said
don't buy
if
it.
you don't have the money, don't buy it.
As in, if I see like a, I don't know, PlayStation 5 for instance,
It's my
and
birthday
I
this month,
I ain't got the cash to buy it, and I'm thinking, well, I've got my credit. I don't know when I'm gonna have the cash to buy it. Fuck it, I just put it on there. Now I gotta pay that back, and I'm like, shit,
I ain't got the piece.
I ain't got the piece for
But
it.
you know the thing.
But if I know that I use my credit card, but I'm getting paid on the 25th, so
Yeah.
boom, cool, I'll do it. Like, but if you ain't got the P's, because some people will just get a credit card and live off it.
But
They have no idea
do
how
you
they pay
know
it
the
off.
disease of this? Because you think of, like, say for instance, the PlayStation 5 is like 5 bills, right? And they say, no, you can either pay it, like, we'll do the plan, you can pay it off, you can pay the full amount off in a year and there's no interest, or every month you can pay £36. Now you're thinking in your head, do I really want to pay £36 a month? I'm going to have that in a year. And then that's when people do go and like just buy it thinking, I'll pay it off in a year's time. But obviously, you never know what happens in that year's time. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
So that's why I say it's such a devil, because it's just the way how they word it. I worked in August. You were trained to sell it in a way as in, oh, buy now, pay 6 months later. Oh, don't worry, you'll be able to pay it off in 6 months, and then oh yeah, yeah, all right, cool, boom.
Yeah, no, it's true.
Boom.
I was buying my bed the other day, and I had the money, but when how much you want to spend. Yeah. So I didn't want to spend more than I was buying a mattress. I didn't want to spend more than £800 on my mattress. Yeah. And
them mattresses, dear.
£800 on the mattress.
On the mattress. Hold on.
Does that give you a massage all the time? Like,
it's electric, innit? It heats up and everything there. It can't just be for you to lie down on it. Do you have to spread this bed yourself?
Or does it come with bills on a mattress?
Does it make your bed?
But the thing is,
my entire bed costs like £2
million. Now you're not making me think I'm mad, because the mattress I actually wanted was the mattress I actually liked when I was lying on the mattress was like 1.3, but I was like, I'm not going to spend 1.3.
1 second.
I know.
For what?
That's what I don't get.
No. We're talking about the 8
How much
bills.
is the bed frame?
We're still trying to get to the 8 bills.
How much is the frame?
How much is the frame?
I bought the bed separately, before.
No. We asked how much.
Oh, no, the bed was cheaper. It was like £600. It was £600.
Is it wood or metal?
It was.
I need to understand what this is.
It's them upholstered ones,
It's got like
for a divan thing.
It's got storage underneath.
Headboards,
It's got
everything
storage.
comes
The headboards.
The TV come out as well.
That's what I'm saying.
You
The
are
thing at the
taking
end.
You know,
That was on sale, though.
1,400.
How much are your pillows?
You know.
They're £60 each.
On
Wait. No.
Yo, man gets what's it? Sleepless night, what it's called?
But my
man goes Asda, bruv.
A little set, yeah.
Until the other day, my pillows are about this thick.
Bruv.
I'm not gonna lie. I need to buy some new pillows.
I need pillows too,
You know
bro.
when you can put 2 in.
Yeah, that's how mine is now. I got 2 in there. Because you buy one, it thins out. You buy another one, and you just merge them together.
Nah, that's one super pillow.
One super pillow.
You know it's too high. So you're like this.
Waking up cooking neck.
Yeah, but let's get back to 8 bills. So what tax avoidance are you doing? 8 bills.
So wait, hold on. Eight bills for the mattress. A pillow is £60 each. How many pillows do you have?
4.
Okay, so I've got 4, but I've only got. Not all of them on £60 one.
And how much is your duvet?
Oh, my duvet just.
That's goose feathers and all that.
No, do you know what? I had that one before, but then the feather just went everywhere, so I just went back to the standard one.
You got the original satin sheets in it.
No, I'm
Silk.
standard satin sheets. Just as long as my
No,
bed's
you know
comfortable.
standard satin.
Standard satin sheets.
Don't you slide off the bed? No, but if
You're not
hold
making
on.
me sound like
8 bills
She
on your
buys her bed
mattress.
sheets from Marks and Spencer's and John Lewis.
Hold on, but if it's 8 bills.
It's what? See?
Yeah.
You buy it from there?
So how thick is your mattress?
Do you know what? It's actually quite thick.
Okay, so think about what I'm saying. You're quite short. You're gonna have this thick mattress and satin sheets. If you slide off that, you're hitting the floor at speed, you know.
Don't mean. What size is your bed?
Oh, just a double bed. Yeah.
Standard double.
Yeah, just
Standard double or
yeah.
super double?
Look at her thinking. She's like, don't judge me.
It's not the small double, just like the normal.
All right,
you
no,
got
the
double.
4'6" double.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
The 4'6" double. Okay, so £1,400 bed. We're getting into your finances now. So forget all of this adult stuff for a second. Let's break down your finances here.
Wait. The thing is with me, that I don't, believe it or not, I don't spend a lot of money. Wait, believe it or not, I'm not.
Jay, how much was your bed for the whole thing?
The whole thing, I think I paid no more than £300. I think I paid like £260 for everything.
No, but the thing is, the bed I had before, it was probably around that much. The only reason why I got a new bed because I wanted to get a storage bed and stuff like that. So that was the main reason. The mattress, I get lower back pain, so it's just like I wanted something that is like, I had a memory phone. I don't really like memory phone; didn't work for me.
So there was no cheaper alternative.
I'm telling you.
I could do some nice mattress.
I'm telling you, when I went to try all these different ones, there wasn't any that felt like, because this one's got one of the ones where it's got a gel layer on top of the actual mattress.
Right.
I don't know if you know.
Yeah, I've seen it on the adverts still.
Yeah,
and there's a summer side and a winter side,
thing,
and
yeah,
it's
yeah,
cooling,
yeah.
air cooling.
Yeah,
Them
exactly.
scientists.
Does your mattress like kind of shape you in when you're sleeping?
Exactly.
Takes your shape.
Oh yeah. No.
So basically, like you're hugged while you're sleeping.
Yeah, but
Check
the
the
thing
salesman.
is, when, I'm not gonna lie,
I've got picture.
like now I had it and I feel kind of like I kind of want to. haven't had it for long.
Do not feel
She
guilty.
wants to change it. She wants to change
You want to go
it
back to the
more
normal mattress
expensive
now?
one. But she wants to get a higher
more
level
expensive.
things.
Yeah, I do.
You want a more expensive one now?
Yeah,
You wanna-
but it's only because it's got a little bit more springs than the one I have now.
How high off the floor
My
are you
thing
trying
must
to
feel
be when you
dead.
sleep?
I'm thinking.
Do you have to run and jump into your bed?
Wait. I was trying to make a point, and you lot just made me cut off. No, it is quite high though. It is quite high. Like when my niece sleeps over, I'm kind of worried that it is
see that?
high.
See now, imagine like if I was her boyfriend, I wouldn't stay. You couldn't stay at my house. 'Cause my
That's what I'm
mattress is
saying.
shit.
You know when she'll just be tossing and turning on like, I don't
this,
like
man?
your house.
What is this?
You know, beer cussing and kiss feet in your sleep. She might well
Sleeping like some
slap you.
pauper.
Exactly, this peasant bed. Oh gosh,
You get me? Like, you know.
that's you know, like when you look at a girl and you say she's high maintenance because of her bag or her shoes. Now you need to say to her, how much is your mattress?
Yeah, what's your mattress?
A
say,
bag.
bro?
Listen, I can't talk to you, babe. I can't talk to you because my house ain't.
My level of back pain is different compared to yours, isn't it?
But what would you do if a girl said she spent $8 on her mattress, but it was just on the floor?
She an idiot then, isn't it?
Hey, listen.
Raw.
Girl will have you out here financing mattresses to cater to their needs.
Wow.
But people do that though. People do.
Now DFS and all of them and them like
do,
There's
they
nothing
do,
wrong
they
with
do,
it.
they do.
Spread the
There's
cost out and that.
But yeah, so I
Yeah.
think my point was, was that obviously the guy was trying to sell, like, say, no, just get this on finance. So my point was like, I had the money, and it wasn't that I didn't have the one free. I just didn't want to spend one.
All
free.
that one
Yeah,
time.
Yeah,
Boom.
on my mattress, and he was like, "Oh, you can do it on finance." But my point was like, I don't want to spend one fee on my mattress. That's what I said. I want to spend a certain amount of money, and I think sometimes when people hear these things, oh, I can pay it off in a bit. It's more about what you paying at the end, not. Do you know what I mean? So back to your point is, do you have the money? Yeah, do you have the money? Like on certain things, I did do finance, not because I didn't have the money, just because that. This
Makes
is
sense.
the
Makes
climate
sense
that
at the
we're
time,
in
yeah,
now.
Yeah, yeah,
Cash
yeah.
is king, and I think a lot of people don't always think about, okay, you know, I have the one free, but if I can spread it out, just
Makes
in case something happens and I need
Yeah.
something else, then you've got that
Yeah.
cash. And I think people sometimes talk about getting things on credit as a bad thing, but it depends on your
you manage that.
relationship.
Oh,
Do you know
because
what I
a lot
mean?
of footballers,
A lot of rich people
Yeah, a lot
buy
of-
their
yeah.
stuff
a lot of
on
footballers,
credit.
all their cars are on.
There's no,
finance.
because it's not an
Because
asset.
because
It's like, why am I
because
paying
there's
for this?
no
Yeah.
value
Why am I
in it
giving
after
mine
you-
Yeah.
100
but
bags
you-
for a
no,
car?
But your thing is, in your mind, because of how rich they are, you assume they've paid for that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
I think
you know you can shop in Sainsbury's with credit.
You can do extra.
What, like
anywhere with
Klarna?
credit. Yeah.
Yeah, or
How do you
or,
start
or,
that?
or, or if you got Argos card.
The cards, isn't it? They give you the little cards.
If you got Argos
The
card,
store
because-
card thing.
Remember Sainsbury's and Argos are like a one company, innit?
I'll be real with you.
Yeah.
If I have to finance food, I've hit a new low, and that's mad.
true, that's essential.
It is, but that's the world we're moving into, where they're trying to
Well, man, out
encourage
here
people.
borrowing clothes from Selfridges, so anything's possible, isn't it? Renting garms and
But
that, so
they're
anything's
trying to
possible.
encourage people to hit more of the credit wheel. So as you were
Yeah.
saying,
That
You got-
that is money.
You
yeah,
go
yeah,
into
yeah.
you go into the store and let's say you've got the money to pay for the mattress, but then the guy behind, you know you could do. They'd be like, you know you could do a credit plan, and they start whipping out the papers, and it's like you're like,
But the
Because
thing is,
they-
I'll say
you
to them,
have to-
don't. If it's not 0%, don't chat to me.
Yeah.
If it's
I
not
don't care.
0%,
But but if you notice that more time what they're doing is 0% for the first 12 months.
That's fine.
yeah, but that's
Fine.
what you
That's
Yeah.
should
normal.
do.
Yeah,
That's
Like I
normal.
bought my Mac like that. Like I had the P's for my Mac,
Yeah.
but Apple was doing 0%. I said,
You might
Yeah,
as
yeah,
well.
that makes sense.
so they're giving you
That
a whole
makes sense.
1,200 one time. Give you £100 a month.
It makes
Yeah.
sense. Like that.
No,
actually
Done.
makes-
It does, but at the same time, I don't like debt hanging over me.
Yeah, that's the thing. Some people don't like it.
So I'd rather just-
I don't either.
Like, I'd rather punish myself, take the money, and I have to grind,
And then that's it.
than I'm living life, but every month I think, £100
Yeah.
again.
£100
and-
again.
No, it's true. Like even my road tax, I don't like paying it monthly. I
I pay it off. Yeah.
I pay it off,
like
man.
that.
Even my car insurance, I pay it off.
Pay it off all
Like,
in
you
one.
know
I need
what?
to get to that.
I
level.
hate
Like,
that. Yeah, man.
TV license, you can have that monthly.
Yeah,
still.
me too.
Certain things like have it monthly.
Yeah, but it's. I think
Nah,
yeah,
I'm
your
not
relationship with money and credit, you just have to have a
Ain't
good
got time
relationship
TV.
with these things. Like people talk about debt. There's good debt and there's bad debt. A lot of people think every debt is bad, but obviously. Good debt is when you buy something and then it appreciates. So like a house, do you know what I mean? So yeah, when you have a mortgage, that is a debt, it's a loan. But once you've paid it off or once you sell it, you're getting
You get
money,
money
you're
back.
getting more
Yeah,
back
yeah,
for it.
Yeah,
So
but
I
it's,
think-
it's cultural. I think a lot of us are raised that the word debt, that word itself is a negative.
yeah, definitely.
And a lot of people are raised like credit is bad. So if you can't afford it, that's it. Because a lot of, for example, our grandparents or whatever, they didn't do. Some of them didn't even deal with bank accounts. So
they had saving accounts.
Yeah, they had savings.
At the most, a lot of them had money stashed around the house in places. Partner was the clearest thing, closest thing to credit. A lot of them got to.
Partner was
so,
what they used.
Like, it's hard. It's hard.
Years ago.
Partner's
Because
wavy.
of my granny.
No, partner's wavy. Partner's proper, but technically speaking, you could have saved the money yourself.
Yeah. When you think about it.
But partner, you're forced to save it.
Yeah, it's accountability.
But how they used it back in the day is obviously when you come over and you ain't got enough money to buy like your yard or your little flat. Everyone in the you buy your flat this month, you buy your flat next month, you buy your. So that's how everyone would then pattern.
You know what?
Quickly.
You see in partner, the reason it hurts you because you see once you got your hand, you're done, and then you're still paid, and you're like, but.
I got my thing. But still giving you money.
It depends how many people are in the partner.
Nah, but you see when you get the big money one, when there's all 30, 40 people in the partner, and you got your lump sum and you're happy. But next week you still got to pay, and you're like, blood. Especially when you get your hand early.
Yeah.
Oh, worst thing.
I don't even know what's worse. Even getting it late, seeing everybody living their best lives, and you're still waiting for your hand.
If you put your partner down, for example, to say Christmas, I need my partner. It's different, or your birthday. You know when you just get a spontaneous mid-month partner, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna do this
What's
now.
going on in April? Sorry, I missed your birthday, but still, I mean, I just meant April.
Like that, yeah. Like,
Oh, come on, man.
pagan face.
Credit and loans. What is the difference?
You get your loan through credit, no?
No, I'm talking about bank loans. Sorry, and actual and like.
Would you when you say would? I don't.
All right. So, for instance, how do I word this? So sometimes when you're going to buy a car, they will tell you it's better if you go and get a loan from the bank.
Okay.
Than having to go through.
So you mean like getting a personal loan? From the bank. Well, I guess it depends because essentially, when any organisation is borrowing you money, it's how much risk they want to take, and like with the banks, well, the whole reason why we got into a financial crisis because the banks were just giving out loans and mortgages and not really being as vigilant. So depending on what bank you're with and the relationship, they kind of know you more, so they may give you a personal loan. The interest rates sometimes it can be more favourable with the bank and more controllable. So sometimes they might say, it's actually better for you to go to your bank, get the loan, boom, and use it to pay.
Is that because they can see your personal circumstances? They see the money coming in and out, so and all that stuff.
So sometimes when you go for like certain bank accounts or loans, they normally say, you're eligible for this kind of thing if you've been paying £750 more into your personal bank account, or you've got X amount of direct debit, so they know they kind of know your persona kind of thing. So I think that's kind of if a car company says that, it's because of that. And also sometimes the car company don't want to take on that much risk because depending on how big, because loads of car companies do credit now, it's not all the big ones, you know what I mean? So some of them, they may feel like actually this is too much of a risk for me, but if they're getting the cash from you straight up because you're getting the loan from the bank, then at least they know they're getting their money.
So you know if you've got like a mortgage through the bank, and that bank goes bust, do you lose your property?
No, because like everything is basically protected. Everything's protected. So
and the money's not directly from the bank. It's like the bank is the face of the loan.
But then when Northern Rock went bust, people lost their properties. Do you remember Northern Rock?
Yeah, I remember that.
Some people lost their property.
But there was more to it than just Northern Rock.
Yeah, there must have been more to it.
There was, like you got partners, like silent partners. They went bust as well.
Yeah.
So a lot of like Santander and that, they're the face, but there's so much people behind them that if they disappear,
the underwriters.
If they disappear, the underwriters then take it up in their place, or they'll just replace it with another partnership to be the face. Whereas Northern Rock, everyone was collapsed.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, like even with my life insurance, I've done it through general and legal, but then it's another company behind it. Yeah.
That's why it's so. Yeah, you don't know who you actually owe money to.
Yeah, that's the thing. Because even with your car insurance, I had a car insurance at one stage with some company, and I would call them and they'd be like, "No, you got to call call AXA." And I'm like, "My insurance is not with AXA
because it's underwritten by AXA."
They're like, you got to speak to AXA to change X. I'm like, what the?
Yeah, it's a lot of these things are just the face to bring you in, and this just weird partnerships and crap.
Okay,
crazy.
So what about companies that don't take cash. They only take like card payments.
What about them?
Are they a bit? Are they like?
No,
like
the cash
bookie?
ones are more
It's
booky.
the other way around.
The cash ones. See, why do you think the Chinese shop always says cash only? Because they don't want no one to know.
Yeah,
Fish
like
and dragon.
no. To be fair, like when I was working, where I said I was working before, there were certain like groups that were like our high targets because of the nature of what they do. So as you said, places that take cash, nail shops and stuff like that, loads of like Chinese shops and things like that are the people that kind of will always be targeted and investigated because they're living a certain lifestyle, and you know it's hard for the government to prove how much cash you've taken. However, like certain times they'll come in, they'll raid your shop, you've got like 3-4 bags in your till, and you say, oh, it's only a good week, and they're like, no, on your thing you said you only make 10k a year this 1 week. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, if you'll take the business that's taking a lot of cash, then it's high risk for you to be investigated. So, but now I feel like with a lot of businesses that people like in our communities are doing, everything's online anyway, but it's how people do it. So people will set up PayPal accounts and not know that the government have access to that, can have access to your PayPal accounts if you.
No, but and your bank account.
Obviously,
When
and
your bank account, HMRC, you can run through your bank account.
PayPal.
Yeah,
I
but
didn't
you
know
know
your
what it is?
PayPal.
What about Monzo? Because you know Monzo ain't really attached to nothing like that.
They must can do it.
No,
as well, though,
like the thing is, like the government can get access to anything if they need it. Do you know what I mean? So if they're doing an investigation, they can go to PayPal, they can go to obviously get all your bank statements, contact all the banks, get all the information they need about you if they're doing an investigation. So like I always say to people, when you're doing your business, have a separate business bank account. Do not make anything go through your personal bank account, because the worst thing that you would want is that they do investigation. And when I say investigation, there could just be an inquiry. So there's an investigation where you're under like criminal investigation and random inquiry. So sometimes they will just pick anyone at random. You might not have done anything wrong, but they just do random check because they can look back the last 6 years. So any time between now and 2040, they can come and say, oh, let's just see. They're just doing a random check. So they will always ask for you to back up what you've put in. And one of the best sources is your bank, like obviously your business bank account. But if you're a sole trader, because a lot of people are sole traders, self-employed, they don't always have a personal bank account because you are your business. But if they go through your bank statements and say for whatever reason you're getting money from, I don't know, say your baby mother's giving you £300 every month, and that is for something that is, you know, genuine, they'll be like, no, you're getting income, we're going to tax you on it. If they see a regular payment coming into your account and you can't really prove it, then they're going to be like, no, we're going to tax you on that, or any other kind of bits of income. So that's why, at least if you do your business bank account or separate account, you send them that bank statement, everything matches up, cool, they're like, bye, that's it, they don't need to.
So basically, we just need to work in cash. That's what I've gathered from everything you said today. We just need to get cash.
Stay away from cash.
No, like physical cash. Like, don't send nothing to my bank account. Give me
the money.
Obviously, if you're trying to like completely not,
then you'd have to be totally off the map.
Yeah, you have to be off the map.
Watch Ozark.
Oh, that's all laundering, isn't it? This guy.
You see,
but basically, what you think is Ozark?
Like, you see you and EE and all these people. That you know,
this is why EE and that $7,000 and all this is why
they're coming for you.
me E are good now, man. We're good. We have our understanding in it.
See you and money laundering, Hush Puppy Junior.
But and I think that's another thing though. A lot of people do this madness where they live a lifestyle, but on paper your lifestyle's not that. And that's actually one of the biggest reasons why people get caught, because they are declaring they're making 20 bags, but you're living like a millionaire lifestyle.
But what if I say it's fake?
They'll say still prove like.
Yeah, but what if I say my watch is fake?
Yeah,
my shoes is fake.
Was it what's his name? Adrian Broner. Remember him?
Yeah, he said he's broke.
He was saying he's broke, and they pulled him back in court because on his Instagram page he had like he was
flashing
flashing money.
And he's like,
it was my friend's money.
But didn't you see
like,
when he came out again?
Yeah.
You see the next video after that? And he's like, he came out with more money, and he's like, I just got rich friends, man. Like when he
even done a GoFundMe.
Remember when 50 Cent was driving a smart car to say he was broke?
Yeah, to just prove he's broke. Like, man, do mad stuff to just finesse.
Future said he's broke.
Who?
Future saying he's broke as well now.
Your baby mom trying to take him to court, innit?
So he's saying he's broke too.
Yeah. The man that would rather file for bankruptcy than pay.
He said he earns 20,000 a year.
He said, how is he going to spend only earning 20 bags a year?
That man's doing shows that left, right, and
I
centre.
swear that song he did with Drake alone has made him.
He's a mug.
Says after the time he pays his pays his back.
He said he's got 20 bags in his pocket.
20 grand.
But this whole like finances. So, are there different types of accountant? Like if we had a business, there's one set of accountant, and then there's like a private accountant, or is it all like one thing?
Okay, so it depends on how you want to do it. So with so if you have depending on whatever your business is, if it's a limited company or a sole trade or whatever, a partnership, you can have like someone in house that does your book. So like all your like income, expenses, records all of that, or you can outsource that to an accountant to do, and they'll do a bookkeeper, they'll do your tax returns, and they obviously do your accounts. When you have an in-house person, that's more when your company is kind of like bigger, or you have a lot of operation on a daily, like you got money coming in very quickly, but you can still get an accountant like me to do it and just send me all the information. I will have, so some of my clients, I manage their books. I've got a system, and I can see everything that's coming in and out of their business if they want to. So you can have an in-house person doing your account. So like a lot of big organizations, you have accountants working in-house. Do you know what I mean? But a lot of like small businesses, you can just outsource it to someone like myself to just do all your tax returns and accounts. Or some people, they will still do the accounts in-house, but they'll still go to an accountant to do the taxes because it's more specialized.
So like, what is a fair price to pay your accountant?
So it's that's a good question. The reason why I say it's a good question is because people should really I always say shop around. The reason why I say it is because some people come to me and be like, oh, but someone told me a cheaper price. I'm like, okay, cool. If that's what you want to do, go with them. I don't move on my price because number one, I'm very reasonable with my pricing, and number two, a lot of people, not all of them, a lot of people that are doing it cheaper are not. They're just doing a quick thing, like they just whatever. So like, for example, I'll say this year, 3 people that came to me last year that asked me for my services, and they went to someone cheaper. They've come back and like, HMRC have contacted me. I have to pay back tax, and I'm just like, how much did you pay them? And they paid them like maybe £200-300 less than what I quoted, and I was like, yeah, that's why, because they're not really doing what they're supposed to be doing. So if you get an accountant, make sure you understand what they're doing, because I know that obviously you get an account because you just want to leave them to do it, which is fine. But when they send you your books and send you a tax return, look at it and ask questions. And if you don't get it, just say, can you talk me through it? So like with all my clients, I talk them through. I'll be like, okay, this is how much tax you need to pay. This is this, whatever. They'll be like, oh, what does this line mean? And I'll be like, oh, it's a laptop that you bought, whatever. Because it will come up with like assets or something like on your accounts, and you might not get what that is. So ask that question. The reason why I say that is because if HMRC query it, it's not your accountant, it's you. It's on you. So they will say, even if you've got an accountant, doesn't matter. The liability is with you, unless your accountant's found that to be dodgy and they've done they're getting loads of investigations, then it's on the accountant. But they will come to you and they will ask you the questions, and you have to prove it, and you have to pay the fine or whatever it is that you have to pay. So yeah, you got to say something.
I was going to say, if you're self-employed, can you do your tax monthly or do it yearly? You have 2 options.
So with if you're self-employed, the tax year runs from April to April, and you have to then submit it by the following January. So like this April just gone, you've got to submit your tax return by the 31st of January. So you have between April and January to complete your tax return. So one thing I can say is that when you're sole trader or self-employed, you can do your tax return yourself. You can. It's possible. It's not that you have to have an accountant. I would say get an accountant when you're either making a lot of money, like say, when I say a lot of money, maybe say you're making over 40-50 bags, because that's when you're encroaching into the next tax bracket. I don't know, does everyone know how the tax brackets work in terms of 20%, 40%?
Yeah, we do, but
45?
tell us anyway for the listeners and that. So
everyone gets a tax-free allowance of 12.5k. So anything you make over 12.5k, that's when you start getting taxed at 20% up to 50k. So when you start hitting 50k, you pay 40%, and then up to I think 130 or something, that's when you start paying the 45%. So one thing that people need to think about is that if you've got a full-time job and you're making say you're making 30 bags in your full-time job, your tax-free allowance and your taxes, that's all gone. So anything you make on your side hustle is getting taxed straight at 20%, up until 50k. However, if you have a limited company, you can benefit from better rates. I'm trying to say the best way to say it without not losing people. So like basically if you're a limited company, you can pay yourself as a director, and you can be a shareholder in your company, and you take profits out. When you take profits out and you're still basic rate taxpayer, like you're making under 50k, it's only 7.5% tax that you have to pay. So 20%, 7.5% is a lot. It's a big difference. You're benefiting from a lot cheaper. So that's why I say when you're making a certain amount of money, you need to think about tax planning. That's when I would say speak to an accountant. And you can do that in a consultation. So you don't always need to engage in accounting for the whole year. You can do it in a consultation. So I always say, if you're not sure, speak to someone. Speak to an accountant, book a consultation with an accountant, book a consultation with me, and find out what you need to do before you do something and you just end up either paying too much tax, getting a fine, or just being stressed out. A lot of people close down their companies because of fines from HMRC, and Companies House, both of them.
I got fined the bills for a company that I did nothing with. I just registered it.
Exactly.
And because I put in the tax return to say I didn't earn nothing late, they charged me a bills, and I was like, but I didn't earn nothing. Like,
so how does tax returns work out? So like when people, like for instance, like okay, I got a 9 to 5, and then they work out in a year, we've overtaxed you. How do they realize they overtaxed you?
You mean with your 9 to 5?
Yeah.
Okay, so with your 9, so as I said before, everyone gets a tax-free allowance of 12.5k, and that 12.5k actually works out what your tax code is. So on your payslip, you will see that you've got a tax code of 125L or something like that. Always look at that to make sure that's the right one for the year, because if it's lower, so if it's like 1005, that means that they've reduced the amount of tax-free allowance you have. Sometimes there's a genuine reason for it. It might be that you underpaid tax the year before, so they adjust your tax code for you to pay for it, or through your company that you work for might give you benefits, so you might get a company car and stuff like that. And what people don't realise, and I'll come back to that in a minute, is that you get taxed on all of that. So I'll come back to that in a minute. I'll come back to that in a minute. But so essentially what would normally happen at the end of the year, they'll do a calculation and they'll see that, actually Chris should have paid this much in tax, but he paid this much, and then they'll give you a refund. But they don't always do it at the right time. So like I was doing one of my clients the other day, and they've got a business and they've got a 9 to 5, but in order for me to do their tax return, I have to get their P60. So I've done their P60, and then on that alone, they overpaid $1,000 in tax. They didn't even know. Do you know what I mean? So obviously I've done it before HMRC have come to them, and it's been over a year. Do you know what I mean? So obviously they were happy because it's COVID. They're getting so that's why you kind of need to always look at your tax code, make sure it's right. Check if you're getting the same. If you're on a salary job, you should be getting taxed the same amount, similar amount. So just check that on a regular basis, and just to make sure.
How far can you check your how far can you claim? How many years back?
They owe you. Doesn't matter.
So there's no cap.
No, they owe you. Like
this guy's gonna try to go back to when he was 21.
She's gonna be like, right, pull up.
So what makes you get emergency tax then?
Okay, that's a good question. So emergency tax will happen either you've got 2 jobs. So if you've got you're working 2 jobs at the same time. So for one job, for example, they will say we're going to allocate your whole tax-free allowance, the 125, to that job. So then when you get the next job, that means that whatever tax you're going to pay is at 20%, I was saying before. So that's when you get a BR, because they're just saying that you're getting taxed straight at 20%. It also happen when you've changed jobs and the employers haven't exchanged like your P46 and things like that. And then you'll get taxed emergency tax as well. So it normally happens when you've had you're doing more than one job at the same time. But again, with that, you still kind of it's always good to speak to HMRC to make sure that your tax is right, because if, for example, you have a job that's paying you 30k and a job that's paying you like 8k, sometimes they will allocate the tax return to the job that's paying you 8k. So they're saying in that job, they've taken your whole allowance, but you rather it on your 30k job because you're going to get taxed more. So they don't always work it out right. And that's another reason why you get a refund in the end. But obviously, if you just want to pay the right, you don't want to get taxed too much, then you just let them know and say, okay, have a look at it. So it's always good to check when you're doing like more than one salaried role. Yeah.
That's been mad insightful.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, this is
You know when it's a lot to take in one go, it's like, rah.
Yeah.
I
I know.
Nah, it's
damn.
proper, man. I enjoyed especially the first part about obviously the
Inheritance.
yeah, all of that kind of stuff is. I think a lot of people will take a lot from that side of it as well, man.
And fundamentally, just don't leave no one nothing.
Listen, bro. just take all your shit in the grave, give it away to charity.
Yeah, literally be smart about it.
Get buried with all your things,
Be smart about it, because
and that's it.
Damn, man. Well, Stelz, thanks for joining us, man.
Thanks for having me.
Anybody is interested in using Stelz services or going to one of her events, I'm gonna put all her info in the comments. So check her out. Stelz, just tell everybody anyway now, just in case some people are lazy to read all your like Insta and social media tags and all that stuff.
So my Instagram is _@Accountstar, and that's the main place. You got my website, that's www.accountstar.co.uk, or you can email me at admin@accountstar.co.uk.
All right.
And then we get a finders fee, so anyone that obviously you got
Promotional code, yeah.
Oh,
no, you got to run a
affiliate.
you got to run a young 10% our way.
10%.
No, we're not too
40%.
greedy. It's not too
Yeah,
greedy. Young
Actually, I
10%.
want 40, bro.
No. But remember, up to a bag.
Yeah, we don't want too much.
So we need 10%.
No.
You lot are lowering your value.
We're trying to like,
40%.
All right, then cool. Then when you have to pay tax,
on top of your $7,000, you already owe them.
yeah,
Come
and
on,
then me
man.
and James over here, you get me?
Pay what tax? Fam, I'm from Ghana, bro. I know to leave.
Alright, and again, this episode has been sponsored by
Food.
Sponsorship.
Vitamin Energy
Sponsorship.
Drink.
This pineapple and
You get
ginger
me?
thing.
Sponsorship.
We're saying already,
Levels.
innit? Bun Red Bull. We're on this natural thing now, this idle thing now.
Yo,
this is the thing.
This berry and
Food.
coconut thing's alright, you know.
You think so?
Yeah.
I think I prefer
This
the
one's
pineapple
wavy.
and
Nah,
ginger.
This is what makes Jay's beard grow like how it
Listen,
grows.
natural things. You get me? If you're drinking Red Bull, it's gonna shrivel up your thing. So, you get me?
Nah, I like this one still, man.
That's all right.
Sponsorship. Food.
It says FUD, but it's pronounced. You see, it's got the 2 dots there. It's pronounced food.
Sponsorship.
Food, vitamin, energy.
Sponsorship.
So yeah, check them out. Also, as well, I'll put all their details down below and in the comments. So yeah, it's myself, Jay Urban.
Me, Big Gem.
Me, Cee Premps.
It's another one, man. PDCM.
Episode 21. We out.
Don't know.
Sponsorship.
Just-
So fuck it. Man, flame, man. No, leave it in there.
To license it.